Have you ever gotten that feeling that your website, your project, is kind of bursting at the seams of its digital home? It's a fantastic problem to have, right? It means you're growing. But it can also be the very thing that holds you back. So let's dive in and figure out how to get your project a space with some real room to stretch its legs.
You've probably seen the signs already. Maybe your site gets super sluggish whenever you get a nice spike in traffic, or you find out you can't install that one piece of software you really need. Or, and this is a classic, your site slows to a crawl because of noisy neighbors on a shared server. Look, these aren't just little annoyances. They are warning signs that your ambition is smacking right into a technical wall.
All right, so let's talk about that exact moment, that point where you realize, yep, we've outgrown this place. It's a huge turning point for any serious project. It's that shift from being a fun hobby to becoming a real high-performance operation. When your basic shared hosting just isn't cutting it anymore, it really boils down to these three things. You need more dedicated power to keep things fast, more control over the software you're running, and the absolute freedom to set up your environment exactly the way you want it.
And this is where the Virtual Private Server, or VPS as you'll hear it called, makes its grand entrance. It's pretty much designed to be the perfect upgrade. It gives you all that power and control we just talked about, but without the crazy cost and complexity of getting your own physical server. It's truly the best of both worlds.
Let me put it this way. Think of shared hosting like living in a big apartment building. You share everything: the electricity, the plumbing, the Wi-Fi, the noise. If your neighbor decides to throw a massive party at 2 a.m., guess what? You're going to feel those vibrations. A VPS, though, that's like owning a townhouse. You've got your own dedicated resources, your own front door, and total freedom to paint the walls whatever color you want inside. No noisy neighbors can mess with your performance, period.
So what is this thing technically speaking? A VPS is basically your own isolated little bubble. It's a hosting environment with its own dedicated resources, CPU, RAM, storage, all running as a totally self-contained virtual machine on one super powerful physical server. It is your own private guaranteed slice of a much bigger pie.
So how in the world is this digital townhouse even built? Well, the magic behind it is a technology called virtualization. Let's pull back the curtain a little bit and see how it creates that private, secure space that your project needs. The key piece of tech here is called KVM, which stands for Kernel-Based Virtual Machine. Now, this is the system that takes one single massive physical server and slices it up into those completely independent and isolated virtual environments we've been talking about. Each one acts like its very own server, guaranteeing that your resources are yours and yours alone.
So what does using KVM actually get you? Well, for starters, a way higher level of isolation, which is fantastic for security. Second, you get guaranteed, dedicated resources, which means you get consistent, reliable performance. And third, total customizability. This includes full root access, which basically means you hold the master keys to your kingdom. You can install any operating system, any software. You are in complete control.
And you know that reliable performance we just mentioned? It's not just some empty promise. It is built on a foundation of some seriously powerful enterprise-grade hardware. We're talking about lightning-fast storage that absolutely blows traditional drives out of the water and processors that are designed for some serious heavy lifting. This combo means you get incredible speed and responsiveness for whatever you decide to build.
Okay, so now we know how it works. Let's get to the really fun part. What can you actually do with all this power and freedom? Because this is where a VPS really starts to shine. I mean, yes, of course, you can host a massive, high-traffic website, but a VPS is capable of so much more than that. Think of it like a blank canvas for your most ambitious digital ideas. And that freedom of full root access is the absolute game changer. It's what transforms a VPS from just a place to host stuff into a true creative powerhouse. You're not just a tenant following someone else's rules anymore. You're the system administrator with the keys to the entire building, and you're free to configure it for literally any purpose you can dream up. So what does that freedom really look like in practice? Well, it means you can finally launch that massive e-commerce store that kept crashing your old shared plan. It means you can spin up a private game server for you and your friends with zero lag. You could build a custom workflow automation dashboard to connect all your apps. Or hey, even dive into the world of AI by running your own large language models. The possibilities are, honestly, they're just vast. Okay, this all sounds amazing and powerful, but it also might sound like a lot of responsibility. And you're not wrong. So let's break down what managing a VPS actually involves and figure out if it's the right move for you. The way to think about it is really like a partnership.
In short, the provider, that's us, manages the physical world, the server hardware, the network, keeping the lights on. You manage the virtual world inside your server, your operating system, the software you install, and your specific security settings. You get total control inside your townhouse, and we make sure the foundation is rock solid.
Now, self-managed does not have to mean difficult. Seriously, if you're just starting out, you're not just thrown into the deep end. You can start with pre-installed operating systems and software templates. You can use familiar, super user-friendly control panels like cPanel or Plusk, and you have access to tons of tutorials and even an AI assistant that can handle a lot of the system admin tasks for you.
And let's talk about security for a sec, because it's a big deal. You're starting from a very, very strong position. That KVM environment is securely partitioned by its very design. You're protected by advanced DDoS countermeasures and an AI-powered firewall. Plus, you get your own dedicated IP address, which lets you create your own custom security rules. And there's an automatic malware scanner working to keep things clean.
So, the big question, how much power do you actually need? Well, the beauty of a VPS is its scalability. You might start with a plan that's perfect for your complex web app today, knowing that you can easily scale up to a plan with massive resources later on as your project just explodes in popularity. The key is you only pay for what you need right when you need it.
And this, right here, is maybe the most powerful concept of all. You don't have to be a fortune teller. You don't have to predict the future perfectly. You can start with a plan that fits your project right now. Then, as your traffic grows, as your ambitions get even bigger, you can seamlessly upgrade your resources with just a few clicks. There are no penalties, no complicated migrations. It's hosting that is literally designed to grow right alongside you.
So, we'll end with this question. You have poured your time, your energy, your creativity into your project. You have big ambitions for what it can become. The only question left is, does your hosting have the power, the control, and the freedom to match?